Did you know that most people cut out carbs when they're trying to lose weight? But that is exactly what is making your weight loss so hard. Well, in this video, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show you exactly why you should keep carbs inside of your diet and why cutting them out could actually make weight loss way harder. You see, cutting carbs may seem like a good idea, the same way that calling your ex seems like a good idea until you start talking to them and you remember exactly why you broke up. Block and delete. You see, carbs make a lot of people feel bloated, but that's just simply because carbs make you retain water. But what a lot of people don't realize is that when you cut out carbs, yes, you don't retain as much water, so you feel lighter, but that doesn't mean that you've actually lost body fat. Carbs are gonna make you store water. In fact, 1 gram carbs can actually store between 3 and 4 grams of water, which means that if you eat 2 slices of bread, which are about 80 grams of carbs, you could be storing 320 milliliters of water. And now the average person might be eating between 100 and 200 grams of carbs easily every day, which means that you could be storing this much water at any given time. So when they cut them out, they immediately start to lose weight. But they confuse this drop in water with weight loss. And by now, you're probably wondering, what's the solution? And you see, the problem to begin with is that carbs are actually your best source of fuel that's going to give you as much energy as a carbohydrate. When you cut them out, you're gonna feel sluggish, slow, tired, maybe more so than usual. And I don't know about you, but I need as much energy as I can get every day to get by. But here's the good news. To lose weight, if that's your goal, you can keep carbohydrates in as much as you like, because the only thing that matters for weight loss is being in a calorie deficit. You see, your body doesn't really care where those calories come from, if they come in the form of carbs, proteins, or fats. Yes, it's important to be eating enough protein so you can build muscle. And yes, it is important to be eating enough fat so you can have good brain function, but it's also important to eat enough carbs so you just have enough energy to get by through the day. You see, you could choose to lose weight by dropping carbs, but that's essentially choosing to lose weight in hard mode. And I don't know about you, but last time I checked, losing weight was pretty hard at the best of times. And here's another thing that you should also consider. Despite what all the carnivore and keto bros out there will tell you, you can actually overeat really easily by eating mostly things like avocados, eggs, and even meat, because all of these things happen to be really high in fat as well as protein. And what that means is that they're very high in calories. You see, there's as many calories in these 2 avocados as there is in all of this bread. If you're trying to lose weight and you're trying to build muscle, which you most likely are if you're watching this channel, you want at least 30 to 40% of your macros coming from carbohydrates. You need to understand that just because you're having carbs and you might be retaining water, it doesn't mean that you're gaining any fat or that you're gonna lose weight at a slower pace than if you just cut these out. When you are eating carbohydrates though, there are a couple of tips that I will give you. One is understanding that just because the weight on the scale might be slow to go because you might be retaining some extra water, this is why it's a really important thing to remind yourself of not only measuring yourself on the scale on a week-to-week basis, but also using things like a measuring tape so you can see whether your waistline is going down, and also utilizing things like selfies in the mirror on a front and side view so you can visually see the changes that are occurring in your body. When you cut out carbs, your training goes down the drain, your motivation starts to slow, you end up being addicted to caffeine because you need to get some type of energy coming from somewhere, and you might start eating too many things like avocados, which are delicious and great, but are very high in calories. And if you're eating too many calories, regardless of how much you've cut out carbs, your weight loss is still going to be challenging, because the only thing that matters for weight loss is you being in a calorie deficit. And now that we have addressed why it's okay to eat carbohydrates and still lose weight, you might also be wondering how you can include some of your favorite meals on the weekend and still lose weight. Well, lucky for you, I have a video right here that shows you exactly how you can do that. So make sure to watch it.